Good morning!
Good morning!
No, good afternoon. We've had lunch already.
It is not morning.
It's not morning, otherwise it'd be dark outside.
And it's not.
Happy Truthful Tuesday.
Happy Truthful Tuesday.
Welcome to the show, Honest Tea Talks.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny?
What?
We said Honest Tea Talks, and when I posted the last video, I put Honest Tea Time. Hashtag Honest Tea Time.
Oh,
and everything.
well, that works too.
Okay.
But definitely, I like honest tea talks.
I do too.
Just because they're talks,
Yeah.
you know?
They're not TED Talks, they're Tea Talks.
I love that. Tea talks. Cheers. Like, I'm usually super clumsy. And so I would usually be the person that spills tea everywhere. So
Well, we don't have a cleaning crew, so let's not.
Not yet.
No. Oh, but they're empty.
What do you mean? It has tea.
Mine has tea in it. I forgot the tablecloth. So we're gonna be pretty real today.
Yes.
I mean, we're real every week, but
But extra real.
extra real today because we didn't have a topic. Nothing came to mind in sitting down to record, and I mean, it's yeah. So
It's just free talk.
it's free talk today. Whatever pops in our brain is what we're going to discuss, and this is why we want feedback from you guys. Like, we want to
Yeah.
know what you want to hear about, what you
What
want us to
topics.
discuss. If you have questions about us or something along our journeys.
Or if you want us to elaborate on a certain topic.
Yeah.
Too.
I
we
mean,
can
we've
always
talked
do
from anything from making a decision to gratitude,
To love.
self-care. You know what?
Spiritual
I do actually have something to say.
that. I knew this was gonna
So
happen.
we last week talked about how our niche or niche
Tomato.
yes is self-love. Like, we are doctors of self-love.
Doctors, yes.
And I just want to clarify that self-love as in how you treat yourself and how you take care of yourself. Not in any way does self-love talk or depict anything sexualized.
No.
Not at all. This is not what we
No.
talk about here. So if that's your train of thought, these videos may not be for you.
Naughty. Real stuff, like.
Or maybe you'll learn
self-love.
something from it, like
Yeah.
from these, but definitely not down that path. So for those of you that might be looking for that, wrong place to look.
Yes,
You
keep
might want to look
searching.
elsewhere. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but definitely self-love.
Yes.
Being
Yeah.
a self-love doctor and really talking about, not only talking about what self-love is, but our journeys
Yeah.
in self-love and
Yes.
how we have grown to love ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I think that was, at least for me, a huge struggle.
Yeah, it's all a part of self-acceptance, because so many of us are always looking for acceptance outside of ourselves. You know,
Yes.
we do things to appease others. We do things to see what kind of reaction we're going to get from people, and it shouldn't be about outside expectations.
No.
It should be about what you expect of yourself,
Exactly.
and that's where self-acceptance and self-love come in.
Exactly. And understanding that self-love isn't just like loving your body.
Yeah.
I think that there's been this big misconception because like self-love is like loving your body, you know, and loving how you look. And although that is part of self-love, that's not the main focus of
No.
self-love. Self-love is loving your truest self, meaning like you get to figure out who your truest self is.
Yeah.
Like, what do I like?
That's
you know?
part. Yeah, that's part of the journey.
Exactly.
It's sorry.
No,
Continue. I can like cutting you off
It's
today.
okay.
This is what happens when there's no train of thought.
Oh my god, we just
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And we may have a few interruptions in this recording. So if you hear any background noise, just know that
it's part of the process.
it's part of the process. It's part of the progress in creating a show.
It is. It happens.
And
part of
it's just the two of us, so
just the two of us.
yes. And we don't have a cameraman sitting behind the camera
don't.
saying cut or start
Or
again.
like pause.
Or pause.
Let's try that again. It's just
Just
natural.
an FYI for today. That's how real today's show is.
Oh. Raw and uncut. For
Yes,
real.
definitely.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so back to that.
To self-love. What was I
Yes.
saying? Oh yeah. So I think that, especially with social media and Instagram, the hype is like being your true self in your own body.
Yeah.
And like posting it. And I myself have done self-love posts where I'm in a bathing suit.
Self-love
or
Saturday.
Yeah, hello, self-love. I definitely do that every self-love Saturday. I do a post. Usually it's about my body, but I want people to understand that self-love is about like discovering who you are, because a lot of us love the idea of love, so we kind of like become this person that we really aren't. You know, we like things just because we feel as if that's what we should like, or that's what people expect us to do, and we do those things, and we think that self-love is just like accepting your physical body, but really it's just accepting yourself for who you are and being true to who you are and figuring yourself out.
Well, I think a lot of times too, the word love gets taken out of context because it's used solely on the emotional aspect of it.
Yeah.
And so when we think of the word love, we only think of even using it towards like a significant other, a child, your child, or like a parent. Because even some relatives don't even say I love you to each other. Like, you know, I think I'm pretty sure I've had relatives say, look at me funny when I say I love you to them. But I say it because when you reach a level of self-love, you want to just say I love you to everyone. And it has no like commitment. It has nothing to do with commitment. It has nothing to do with how you emotionally feel to that person. It's like you just care, you just love yourself so much that you want to share it with everyone.
Exactly.
And you literally want to tell everyone that you love them, because everyone needs to feel it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's such a good feeling. And sometimes I catch myself like stopping myself from saying it from a certain person because I don't know how they're going to receive it, because I don't want them to be like, oh, whoa, like, is she into me like that? Yeah, and it's like, it has nothing to even do with that.
You want to spread the love that you finally have found within yourself.
Yes.
And I think it's such a beautiful thing. And I remember when I started my self-love journey, I had always craved a love that I thought I was lacking.
Yes.
So I had become someone that I really wasn't, just so that I can be good enough for someone. And when I realized that I still wasn't good enough for that person, I started becoming independent and being myself. And who, you know, what do I like to eat? Where do I like to go? What movies do I like? And what do I like listening to? And, you know, where do I like to travel? And what type of person do I like hanging out with? And once you kind of discover who that is, you know, your true self, and you start loving yourself fully, then you want to share that with everyone, and you want to like show everyone that their true self is beautiful and worth that love too.
Yes.
Right? Like,
you want to help open them up to see that within themselves.
Exactly.
Because everyone is capable of it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. You know, and that's part of the reason we started these videos and why we want to share this stuff with the world, is because we know that it can be done.
Yes.
And a lot of it, you know, there's that, you probably might know the verse better, but the verse of Corinthians, right? Love is patient, love is kind, it does not boast, or there's a lot, right? I don't know that love is patient, love is kind.
Oh my gosh.
But that's not meant, we've probably said this before too, this is not meant for just your significant other. Like, I know it's used a lot in like the romantic sense and like at weddings and things, but
of course, but
all those rules, patient, kindness, that applies to everyone. Like,
to
that
you,
is
most
what,
importantly.
yes, to yourself, exactly.
Yeah.
So in order to be patient with others, you must first be patient with yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to. And I think that, you know, when it comes to patience and actual love, it's like, how can you ask someone else to give that to you, or expect them to give that to you, if one, they probably don't have that for themselves, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to love themselves fully. They don't know who they even really are, who they should be. And if they don't know how to give that to themselves, and they don't love themselves, how are they going to love you in a way that you deserve to be loved?
Yep.
It's not likely that they're going to care for you the way that you should be cared for.
Yeah.
So the patience that you're searching for in other people or in other things is what you need to give yourself. Like, patience when it comes to you reaching your goals, or patience when it comes to you figuring yourself out. Like you loving just your physical body is a part of it, but you loving who you are and giving yourself really what you deserve, you're discovering that love that you are searching for exists within yourself first.
And part of it is, dropping expectations, because whether it's expectations of yourself or expectations from others, because that's when you set yourself up for disappointment. That's when you become impatient, because you're expecting something from outside of you. That's out of your control. And as your patience grows, the expectations actually decrease, because now you're at a level where people are different, who you are. And at this point, when you do become patient, you can start adding realistic expectations to yourself.
Yeah.
So there's obviously different types of expectations. So obviously, if you have a goal in mind and there's something you expect out of yourself to achieve it, those are the expectations you want to keep on track.
Of course.
But if it's like, say, losing 50 pounds in a month, like that's kind of an unrealistic goal and expectation.
Yeah.
Because unless you're going to have like 50 pounds of fat chopped off of you, it's not going to happen.
It's not healthy.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and I think that with expectation as well comes, like I hear a lot of people, once they get bitter, like from love, like if something happens, they're like, expect less, don't expect too much from people because they're gonna end up hurting you. And like, that's not what we mean.
No.
It's like, you should expect a level of respect, and you should...
The same you're gonna give.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not about like putting your expectations too high and then being let down.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know your expectations, but you don't expect it from certain people, then you're not going to be let down.
Yeah.
Because if a person is not ready to love you, they won't love you right.
Yes.
So why are you expecting them to love you the way that you deserve to be loved if you know damn well they're not ready to love you, right? They probably don't know how to love themselves. So yeah, it's right in the sense that you shouldn't expect a certain type of love from a certain type of person that's not ready in their journey yet, but you should definitely have high expectations for yourself and for the people that...
That's definitely that's a hard lesson to learn too, because that's a lesson I had to learn.
Yes,
like,
typical.
Absolutely madly in love with someone, and then when you start realizing that what you're telling this person is stuff that you need to be telling yourself, that's part of that self-love growth game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is when you make that realization. Like, if you're telling someone they need to love you a certain way, think about, do you need to love yourself that way?
Exactly.
You can't expect it outside of you. You need to give it to yourself.
Exactly. And, at the end of the day, we many times point fingers at the people that we love that don't love us. And we're like, God, why can't they love me? Or like, am I not good enough? But
what's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me? Yeah. And the reality is that they are not ready.
Yes.
And you are. If you know what love means and what it should look like and what you should be feeling, then
it's time to step away from that.
It's time to step away because they're not giving that to you.
Yeah.
And I remember, when I really thought this person was a person that I was going to marry.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is them, right? It wasn't because there was an equal amount of love. Mm-hmm. It was because I really thought that one day they would love me the way that I was loving them.
Yeah.
And that day never came. And it wasn't because I wasn't good enough. It was just because we weren't good enough for each other.
Yeah.
We weren't meant to be together. And like, if they weren't giving me the love that I deserved, it was because they needed to grow in another way that I couldn't guide or help them anymore.
Yes.
And when I let that go, when I was able to be free of that, then I was finally giving myself the love that I was constantly giving to that person, expecting a different reaction.
Just like what we talked about last week, right?
Yeah.
It's that whole energy exchange. Love is energy.
Yeah.
It's universal energy. So it's what you just said. Like, if you're giving and giving and giving, you're depleting yourself of it, and you need to deposit into your own bank account.
Oh my gosh! And I always use this term, like free candy, right?
I haven't.
You haven't?
No, you haven't told me this.
Oh my god! Well, I've talked about it on Snapchat actually.
Okay, I want to hear this.
So, for example, let's say this is a perfect example because it's Halloween.
Oh
right?
yes.
So you trick or treating.
It is Halloween.
Right? It is. Oh, it actually is. Happy Halloween! Oh my god! Woo!
Why didn't we want to wear a costume?
I know, and why don't we have candy?
I know.
Damn it, we should have. Next Halloween movie.
Yeah. We might actually have a set by then.
We will.
Yeah.
We will for sure. But yeah, it's Halloween, right? And you go trick or treating,
Yeah.
and there's free candy everywhere.
Yes.
Now, if you're going trick or treating and the candy's free, you're not gonna put money in the bins, right? You're not gonna leave anything
No.
at the houses.
No.
No, because it's free,
Yeah.
right? But the candy's delicious. It's the same candy that if you go to a store, you pay for,
Oh.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
But you're not gonna pay for it because it's free.
Yeah.
So you are the same. You could be a damn delicious ass piece of candy.
I love it.
Right? You can, like, the best. Your
Yes.
favorite freaking candy in the world.
Yeah.
But a man or a woman is not gonna pay for you if you're free, right? They're not. So if you don't show your worth and your value, it doesn't matter how good you taste.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how delicious you are.
Yes.
They're not gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
Because what your cost is what you are projecting.
Yeah.
If you are showing that, oh yeah, I'm free.
Yeah.
Take me here. Have more and more and more and take and
Yeah.
take and take. You don't have to pay for anything.
I love that
right?
analogy. Yes.
I love it too because I'm like, no, like you are not free candy.
Yeah.
You are not. You
Yeah.
are worth more. And it's not about the literal cost or payment that people take it the wrong way and say
Yeah.
like, oh, she's so materialistic. But
Yeah.
it's not about like a physical payment. It's about you saying like, no, you can't have me for free
Yeah.
because I'm a good ass piece of candy,
Yeah.
right? Like I taste the best, so I cost this, and
Yeah.
your cost is whatever you believe you're worth.
Yes.
And what you believe you're worth is important because then people are either gonna pay for you or they're not.
Yeah.
And if they're not willing to pay, then they're not worth it.
I mean, what I have in my head isn't as good as this analogy, but it's like that saying, right? Like, you could be the juiciest peach in the world, but there's still people that don't like peaches.
Exactly.
But there are people that do like peaches. So
Yeah.
it's just find your tribe, right?
Exactly.
Find your tribe and love
Yes.
them hard. Like,
yes.
yeah.
I even mentioned last night that it's not only about like a romantic love.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I'm tasty and you're tasty, right? Like let's just say. And at the end of the day, my cost is something you're not like struggling to pay, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like your cost is just unconditional love in
Yeah.
return, right?
Yeah.
And I give that to you just as much as I expect that from you.
Yeah.
So if I am
It's
worth
an
that,
equal exchange.
I'm
Yeah.
not tripping off of giving you unconditional
Yes.
love because
Yeah.
I want to give you more of that.
Yeah.
Right? I want to do whatever I can to make sure that you understand that I love you unconditionally and that you don't doubt my trust, loyalty, or love.
Exactly.
Right? That is a cost that is not hard for me to pay.
Yeah.
If a person is making it seem like you're high maintenance and that cost is just too expensive, then you can
Time
let
to
them
cut
know,
them,
hey,
yeah.
then I'm not the candy
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
I'm not your peach. I'm not. You should maybe buy something else, right? Like you have
Yeah.
the right to do that.
Yes. Every individual has the right to do that. Because
And it's
each-
part of self-love.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely want to. I have nothing to say. That you just said it all. Like it was a great example and
Thank
analogy.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
think of that because I mean I didn't know that. I learned that. I didn't know that I could say like, hey, this is what I'm worth and this is how much it costs, because I was afraid that no one would want to love me if I did that.
Yeah.
Right. But the reality is that you're not that expensive.
No, a lot of people are out there kind of lost because
Yeah.
they are expecting. They're expecting what they're giving in return from someone who's unable to give it in return.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there has to be a point where you just draw the line and you're like, look, like I'm giving all this, and at this point it's a very high debt loan, you know,
Exactly.
and you
Exactly.
need to find the person that's going to give you equally
Yeah.
what
And a person
you're
that-
giving.
Yeah, a person that sees you and says like, you're worth this.
Yeah.
Or like, damn, you're one.
And
juicy
it comes
piece of-
back to the patience thing. I
Yeah.
think a lot in our society right now, we're just so impatient. And so the first person to give us any kind of like a little bit of the attention and want
Yep.
that we want, we just snatch it up and we want it to last forever.
Yeah.
But the thing is if you're patient, because that's not going to work.
No.
Like if you just, that one little instant, like they give you a little dabble of how much they want you, but there's someone that is probably wanting you even more than that person, but
Yeah.
you just weren't patient enough to wait for it.
Exactly.
And-
like you're so consumed with that.
Yeah.
A lot of times we just, all we want, if we really sit back and pay attention to what we're doing, all we want is that person to love us because for some reason they don't and we don't get it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why not me?
Yeah,
Right? Why don't
yeah.
they love me? And instead of understanding that maybe it's because they're not meant for you and they're not good enough for
Yeah.
you, you're like stuck on that when there's probably like
A line of people. Yeah.
just waiting to love you.
Yep.
You know, and I've learned that throughout my journey is that, you know, you can wait a little bit and have someone give you what you deserve. And it's part of self-love, understanding that what you deserve is not that much. You're not asking for too much by saying like, look, really, this is what I give you, and it's not that hard for me. So if it's hard for you to give that back in return, we don't need to be.
I think that's a good place to end today.
Yeah. Yes.
So thank you for tuning in. And I know we kind of went all over the place, but this is why we want feedback, constructive criticism,
Let us
likes,
know.
comments, good or bad. We need the feedback. So please leave a comment below. Reach out to us on social media.
Definitely.
At Benya Pequeña. Sorry, Benya_Pequeña.
Yes.
And at Enlightened Health Fitness.
Ooh.
We love you guys, and thank you for watching.
Bye.